I used to ride my bicycle up to the Bushy racing shop that Tony Bushy owned. They'd let me put a hood on a car or show me what they were working on. Right next to Tony Bushy's shop was Brad Andrig's shop, one of the brightest minds in racing, super smart about chassis setups. They kind of broke me in and started teaching me the ropes at 16, 17 years old. What they've done for me, I could never repay them. Everything they could do to get me in a race car to see me race. My grandpa Lloyd Arndt, probably the most integral part of me getting into racing, helped pay for half of the motor. When I started racing, I was living with him. My home life wasn't really the greatest. He treated me like an equal and was the nicest guy that I've ever met in my entire life. I respected him and he respected me. With his guidance, it changed my perspective in life. Always looking forward, being thankful for everything you do have. On a Saturday afternoon after racing Friday night, me and my uncle, my grandpa, and his wife Dora were at the house watching the video from the night before. The video ended and he died. It's probably the single hardest thing I've ever been through, but I know that he's always been there for me, and I'm a better person, and I'm very lucky to have had him in my life. I was born in 1979, came out, and my legs and arms were all crooked and pointed ways they shouldn't be. I can't imagine what that was like for my parents, and there wasn't a lot of research back then about being able to help with those things. But I was born with arthrogryposis. It basically is a muscle and bone deal where the joints don't form all correctly. You have some limited muscle growth. Both of my elbows don't bend very well, probably about 5 to 10 degrees on my left and about 25 on my right. My knees have about 30 degrees of movement. I have to wear a complete leg brace on my right leg. I don't have the muscle to hold my leg straight or my ankle, and I have a left ankle brace that I wear. And that's all the time unless I'm sleeping. I've had countless surgeries, done my best to work around and just do what everyone else has done. That's the best part about my parents, Edward and Sherilyn. They never once held me back and said, I don't think that's safe for you. They just let me go and do. My fiance, Carrie Stenzel, most amazing girl on the planet. We've been together going on 7 years now. She has a place in my heart that I've never felt for anyone else in my entire life. If it wasn't for her, I would not be physically in the shape I am right now. We go on vacation, there'd be miles of pushing on a wheelchair because I can't walk that far. We went to Yellowstone, she pushed me on a wheelchair for the whole day. We went to Vegas, she pushed me up and down the strip on a wheelchair. What she does beyond what someone else would have to do is extraordinary. It takes a very strong person to put someone else's needs at times before your own. But not one time has she ever complained. I couldn't have found a better partner in life than her. She's amazing. Because I can't pivot with my ankle to push the gas up and down, I unlock my leg brace so my knee can pivot, and then I put oil on the floor and I physically slide my foot up and down the floor to push the gas back and forth. And then I put extra throttle springs on because I don't have a lot of muscle to pull my foot back. So the throttle springs act as the governor for me. And the brake pedal is very similar. I do have a little bit more strength in my left leg, but we do put a spring on the brake pedal because I've been known to ride the brakes way too much, and that don't make it faster. But what I think I maybe lack in mobility, I think it's kind of helped me fine-tune a race car. I can't hand over hand wheel like a madman like you see some of these drivers out there. I need my car to be very precise. So when someone says they're loose and they're sawing at the wheel, my loose is very different. If my right hand is down at the 5 o'clock position, my car's loose. In the same way if I'm tight. If I'm pulling my left hand down and we're in that 7 o'clock range, the car's got to get adjusted. And that has really made me focus on setup. I will never tell anyone I'm the greatest driver. I will tell you though, I'm okay, but my car's twice as good. It takes a lot to have any sort of edge. You can literally open up a magazine and buy any go-fast part you want these days. For me, it's knowing more than the next guy. It's being able to run a car for 3 laps and diagnose what you need to change in that car. I eat, breathe, and sleep chassis setup. I will go to bed thinking about it. I will wake up thinking about it. I'll mow my lawn thinking about it. Other than doing family stuff, that's all I think about. What can I do to make my car better? Is it a spring? Is it a shock? Is it a ride height, lead placement, tire stagger, offsets? What can I do? I will gladly answer anything anyone asks me about car setup stuff. Not only because I think it's really cool that someone would respect me enough to want to know my opinion on what their car is doing, but if that guy goes a little better and his car's better, he wants to stay racing. You see people struggle all the time with cars that aren't set up right, have problems, and they disappear from the sport. They spent a lot of money and things didn't go right. I don't believe you need to spend $1 million to go racing. This is why I love the unified street stock division. We've been real fortunate as a race team to win 60+ features, a couple championships. We've won a couple state titles. I had gotten out of racing for 1 year and came back with a $850 car that was a pile. It had been rolled over twice. It was just mangled. We put it all together and we won 50% of the features we entered. We've won the Chilton Fall Invite 6 times, which is probably one of the things I'm most proud of as a race car driver, because you had anybody and everybody come there. And if you could win that night, you were able to beat the best of the best on that night. Seeing these trophies around my shop make those long nights feel a little better. You know what you're fighting for. If it all stopped today, you'd never hear me complain. Two and a half years ago, Carrie came to me and said, I want to foster dogs. She had done it in the past. So I went along with it and we had fostered our first dog, Carson. Amazing dog, super smart. When I came to learn what happens to these dogs if they don't get fostered and adopted, I broke my heart. They get put to sleep, they get put down. We work with Wolfgang Rescue out of Racine, and I've met some of the most intelligent, smart, loving dogs in my entire life. And to think that these dogs were going to be put down, to be able to bring dogs into new families and see kids with puppies and dogs they've never had before, just makes you feel a little better as a person. I think we're up to 27 dogs now that we've done. As soon as racing season's done here, we're gonna be back on the train again and get number 28 from Wolfgang, and we're really looking forward to it. I've had some dark days in my life, and I've come out on the other side of them. I've been able to see things differently because of that. It's easy to take for granted a lot of things, and life will knock you down. It will. If you're in racing especially, it is the absolutely most humbling thing I think you can do as a sport. You're gonna lose 1,000 times before you win. You're going to run out of money. You're going to run out of parts. But if you have that will and desire to keep going, you can make it work. I believe I'm living proof of that. Now, there's an army behind me of people that have been there to pick me up, but I've never quit. I've always moved forward. I could be sitting in a wheelchair right now, not doing anything. But there's so many great things and experiences, and when all that comes together on any given night and you take that checkered flag and you get that trophy, it was all worth it to get to that point. That's why I race.